Hi, my name is Anneleen and today I will be talking about my experiences with Accutane, or as I call it in Dutch, isotretinoine, which is the non-brand name of Accutane. It is a medicine meant to treat acne and I have been taking it for a year now. And I'm actually starting to stop taking it. I'm lowering my dose slowly until I stopped taking it, and I'm very excited about that. I am making this video because I was very scared to go to a dermatologist, and I am so happy that I eventually did. And the only regret that I have is that I didn't go sooner. So I will talk a little bit about my experiences with acne, then why I suddenly decided to go to the dermatologist, and then how the experience was with the Accutane. So currently I'm 24 and I got acne around the time that most people do, I guess at like 13 or maybe 14 years old. So let's say 10 years ago. Something like that. And it wasn't that big of a deal. It was always kind of there, but not excessive. You know, you could definitely see that I was a teenager with bad skin, but it wasn't the worst skin I had ever seen. There were definitely people in my class and in my year that had worse skin, and there were also people who had much better skin than I did, but I felt like it was normal. But as the years went on, I saw that the people around me, my peers, started to get clear skin and I didn't. And each year on my birthday I would think, oh, maybe this is a year that my skin clears up, and it never happened. I tried different things, none of them worked. I tried different soaps, I tried different moisturizers. I didn't want to try too much because I also heard from like multiple people that acne prone skin should just kind of be left alone. You shouldn't be too harsh with it. So I didn't want to have a skincare routine that was like 10 steps long. Also, I am a lazy person. I can't be bothered to have a 10-step skincare routine. No thanks. Also, I didn't only have acne on my skin, I also had acne on my chest and on my upper back, and then also on my lower back, which is apparently rare. So if you have that, go see a dermatologist. This is your first sign. Go and do it. I also had a lot of acne on my scalp. Another thing that is related to the acne is that my scalp and my hair got very oily very quickly. If I washed my hair one day in the morning, it would be greasy the next morning. If I washed it in the evening, I would feel it getting greasy in the morning. So I never washed my hair in the evening because it was like a waste of good hair. I had to wash it in the morning, and I hate washing my hair in the morning, and I didn't want to do it every day, so I did it every other day. I showered every other day just because I was too lazy and too stubborn to do it every day. But that meant that half of the time I was walking around with a greasy head. This had been my reality for years. And so in August of 2020, I had a breakdown again about my skin and about my oily hair, and my boyfriend said to me, please go and see a dermatologist, they will help you. And he had told me this many times before, but I guess my breakdown of me crying and feeling terrible and feeling as if I was a teenager and feeling as if I never would have perfect skin or clear skin, it made me feel terrible. I could watch myself in the mirror and feel so bad about myself. And it was actually the only insecurity that I have. I don't have an insecurity about my weight or about my height, even though I'm very short. I'm not insecure about my body at all, except for my skin. And I just couldn't handle it. I could spend 20 minutes just staring in the mirror and picking at everything on my skin and making it worse and worse. And it was at that point in August of 2020, I had so many spots down here that were not zits anymore because I had, picked them all, and they were just spots of hyperpigmentation all around my face here and there as well, and then also around the edges of my face. It was pretty terrible. Also, my nose is permanently red because I damaged my skin so much. And so after another one of my breakdowns about that, I decided to schedule an appointment, and I was very, very lucky that I could schedule an appointment, I think 2 weeks later. So that must have been the beginning of August, and I think on the 12th I could go see the dermatologist. And I was very nervous. I thought that they would tell me, this is not severe enough. This is just something you have to deal with. You might use these creams or this kind of soap or whatever, but that's all we can do. And I was very, very grateful that that wasn't the case. The dermatologist took me seriously instantly. I thought I was, you know, making it worse in my head. I thought I was making it worse than it is. But seeing how sad I got and how mentally straining it was to have this face, to have the skin that I had, it was honestly, I needed help. I needed help. And I was so happy that I received it. And me just telling about like how much acne I had, how I could never stop touching it, how I had acne on my scalp, on my chest, upper back, lower back. They were like, this is severe enough. And she was actually a doctor in training, or a dermatologist in training. She was a doctor, she just wasn't a dermatologist yet. She called in her supervisor and she just instantly went, no, go for the medicine. Go for isotretinoine. We're not doing the creams and stuff. You could, but let's just take out the big guns. And we did. Also, this is the point where I should say that I am not a medical professional. I am just a patient and I am talking about my experience. One thing that was very important is that I could not get pregnant whilst I was taking the medication. So I had to sign a form that said in like 10 different ways that you couldn't get pregnant, and I signed it. It's very important because it could have effects on the baby. So that is something that you should keep in mind if you're looking for a treatment like this. And the other thing is that it does have lots of side effects and you need to be careful. I had to do a blood test before I could start the medication, but they did already give me a prescription. I just had to be a good patient and wait until they got the blood results so that they could tell me that it's fine and then I could start the treatment. But everything was fine, so I started the treatment on the lowest dose, which is 10 milligrams a day, and that was fine in terms of side effects. The first night I got nauseous, and like the first 1 or 2 days I had a very dry mouth, but other than that it was fine. Probably the most persistent side effect that I've had or experienced is the dry lips. I knew this would happen. I take my lip balm everywhere. I apply it multiple times a day. I apply it when I go to sleep so that it has lots of time to work. But those were actually the only side effects that I had at the beginning. And then in September, I had to go back to the dermatologist to see how I took the medicine, if the side effects weren't too bad, and if we could maybe up the dose a little bit. Everything was fine. I had to get my blood taken again so they could see that my liver and all of my other blood things were okay. And then I got put on 15 milligrams a day, which meant that I had to take 10 milligrams one day and the next day 20, and then, you know, switch it up like that. I did that up until January, and the side effects were still kind of the same. I started getting very dry skin on my body, so whenever I got out of the shower, I'd put moisturizer on the entirety of my body, and then it was fine after a while. So it took a few weeks to get back to the normal levels, but that was okay. Also, this was around the time that I started seeing results. All of my friends and family very quickly saw that my skin was improving, but I didn't. The first thing that went away was the acne on my scalp, which was, that was so good. That was so good when I noticed that. It took quite a while for the red spots to go away, but those went away first after I think maybe 2 months, and then or maybe it was sooner. It felt like it was a long time, even though they had told me that it would take like about a month. It took longer than a month. And then the black spots, they took even longer. I think those took more around 4 months. But what did change very quickly is that my hair didn't get greasy. My hair didn't get greasy at all. I still can't get over the fact that I have to wash my hair like maybe once in 10 days. And I just say once in 10 days because that's the longest I've been. I haven't dared to wait longer, but I'm sure that I could. Just not having to wake up every day and assess, is my hair passable like this? I never have to do that anymore. And it has been a year now. I hope that it doesn't go away, but we'll see. This medicine is one that you take over a long span of time because you need to get to a specific dosage. You know, you have to take a large amount of it. And so they want to spread it out because the side effects can be very annoying. Also, when I started taking the 20 milligram dose, the side effects really got worse. The worst one that I still suffer from today is my eyesight. My eyes are very dry at the moment, and I don't see as clearly as I used to in the distance. Up until January, I had perfect eyesight, like amazing eyesight. I'm so glad about that. But somewhere in January, I started noticing that the titles on the spines of the books in the bookshelves weren't sharp anymore. They were a little bit blurry. Some of them I couldn't read, and I was really worried about that. So I went to an eye doctor, but she told me you have a very, very minor decline in eyesight, and it will probably go away after you stop your treatment. It will take maybe a few months to, repair itself, but you should be fine. I don't think this is something that you would need glasses for right away. If it persists after you have stopped the treatment and you've waited a few months, then this is a permanent thing, but then it is probably something natural and not because of the treatment. So I am excited for my eyesight to go back to normal, but that was the worst one. One of the side effects that I haven't talked about yet is getting sunburned. Actually, dermatologists are very cautious with this medicine because it dries out your skin. Obviously, for me, that was needed to get all of the grease out of my face. But it also kind of removes the protective layer that you have from the sun or something like that. Since for me it was almost the end of summer, it was like the middle of August, They told me just be very careful, apply sunscreen with SPF 50 and you should be fine, but be very thorough. The plan was to be done with the treatment before summer began, again in 2021, but I wasn't, so I just kept using my SPF 50. Even though I use it very thoroughly and I used it very regularly, my skin would still, especially like this area, it would still burn, and even if you couldn't see it, I could feel it, because when in the evening I would put on my moisturizer, I could feel it like sting, and I am happy that that will go away soon. But use SPF 50, please. I used it before I had the treatment and I will keep using it. Be safe, guys. Be safe. One of the side effects that I hadn't mentioned is my nose. Like my nose, the inside of it, it's very dry as well. And so when I blow my nose, like blood comes out. I feel like my side effects were pretty mild. It could also have an effect on your mental health. I'm very, very lucky that that didn't happen to me and that my mental health only improved. The thing that really made me smile was seeing that this hyperpigmentation I was talking about on my neck and on my face has completely disappeared. It takes months. So even if I didn't take this medicine, it would have taken months. But because there's no new spots arriving, no me picking everything, my skin is so clear. I'm just looking at myself, I'm sorry. But it is so clear and I'm so happy about it. Since my appointment in January, I also had an appointment in April. I thought maybe there we would start lowering the dose again and see if it would have worked enough, but the dermatologist said, like, your skin isn't completely used to it yet. I still had some spots here and there, so we decided to go on and keep going with the 20 milligram dose, and then I had a new appointment last Friday, and then they told me that I could stop. Not instantly, but it will only be a few weeks now. So I used to take 20 milligrams a day every day, and now I take it Monday, Wednesday, Friday until September, and then I'm done, and I'm so excited for it. Best case scenario, of course, is that my skin stays like this. He told me that I should still, wear my sunscreen whenever I was outside, which is fine, I can do that, and that I should still just keep washing my face in the morning, in the evening with some moisturizer, and that should be it. It shouldn't be anything too complicated. And there is a minor chance that my acne will come back. It will probably not be as severe as it was, but it might come back. And then he told me to just give him a call, and then we'll just start the treatment again. And then the second time, it'll probably work better. So, but at the moment, I'm very optimistic that that won't happen. And if it does happen, I am so happy that there is a plan as to what I should do. And I'm very happy that the dermatologists will take it seriously and that they will give me the treatment that I need. Because I feel like acne is treated as something vain, you know, like, oh, but you know, it's just clear skin, or it shouldn't matter as much, or it should be something that is very easily achievable if you just use the right products. It's not true. It is not a vanity thing, and it is not easily treatable when you have actual acne. If you are someone who is insecure about their acne, who has had it for a few years, or if you're still young, if you're still a teenager and it's very severe, just please go see a dermatologist. They will help you. If you're insecure about how bad it is, please go. If you're insecure and thinking like me that it's not bad enough, please go. They will help you. Even if they don't prescribe you Accutane, they might have something else that might help. This is honestly the happiest I've ever been with how I look and how I feel, and I feel like I'm glowing all the time. And when I look in the mirror, I see someone who just looks radiant. And it's not just my skin, it's the way I feel about it. This is very important to keep in mind, but acne is a problem that can be fixed, even if it feels like it can't be. Just look at me. Just look at my skin. I was also very insecure about my upper back, and a few weeks ago, when I was editing my vintage and cottagecore haul, I saw my upper back in the video, and it looked so good. I was so happy. Like, oh god, if this does not convince you to go to a dermatologist, then I don't know what will. Just please go to a dermatologist for me. And I know that it can be daunting, but they will not judge you. They have seen worse things, and they are there to help. This video was a bit all over the place. I'm just very happy to talk about this. I would very much appreciate it if you would leave a comment down below for other people who are watching this, giving them encouragement to go to the dermatologist. If you are someone who needs encouragement, please just go to a dermatologist. I am rooting for you. And if you have any questions about my treatment, leave the questions down below in the comments. Okay, I think that about wraps it up. I will see you next Wednesday. Have a good day. Bye.